Hello everyone, I am your Anil Kumar, back with the same topic of the planets. In the previous session, if you have remembered, we have learned various aspects about the planets, like their distance from the sun, their rotation time, and their revolution time. But here in this class, we are going to learn the characteristics of each and every planet in the solar system. As we have already discussed, there are 8 planets. So here, if you are ready, I am ready to take you all to study about the characteristics of all the 8 planets. So here we go, we'll start with planet Mercury, the very first planet, the Mercury. Yeah. It is the smallest planet in the solar system. It is also the one which is very closer to the sun. It happens to be the smallest and also the one which is very closer to the sun. We have already discussed this point in our previous class. If you haven't watched that video, you can go back to the playlist and you can watch that video. And as it is the closest one to the sun, it happens to be the hottest planet. It happens to be one of the hottest planets. And one thing is that it cannot be spotted during any time of the day or night. Even if it is twilight also, it cannot be spotted as it is very closer to the sun. I mean, it cannot be spotted through the naked eye as it is very closer to the sun. And one more fact is that as it is very small, it cannot be spotted. Because of these two reasons, it becomes very difficult. And as we have already discussed, it is very small. Its size ranges about 5,000 square kilometers. It is about its diameter. I am not talking about the radius, be clear here. Its diameter. Diameter means it's 2 times of the radius. It is about 5,000 square kilometers. Yeah. And this should be remembered about Mercury. 1 day on Mercury will be equal to 176 days on Earth. 1 day on Mercury will be equal to 176 days on Earth. Means it has a very short day. It has a very short day because of its smaller size. It rotates very fast around its own axis, and that makes a shortest day on the Mercury. As it is mainly composed of heavy metals, it is mainly composed of heavy metals, and this point also should be remembered as it is a dense planet because of heavy metals. Unlike the other planets which are there towards the exterior, which we are going to explore later on, unlike the other planets, this planet is very dense also. The Mercury is very dense planet. And the surface has a lot of craters. Means it is not an even surface, it is not a flat surface. There are a lot of ups and downs, there are a lot of mountain ranges, there are a lot of plateaus, there are a lot of plains, lot of ups and downs are present on the Mercury. Yes, there is no atmosphere. Okay, we are blessed to have atmosphere on the Earth, because of which the life is possible on the Earth. But on Mercury, the life is not possible as there is no atmosphere, as the temperature is so high, and as it is very closer to the sun. Because of various reasons, the life is not possible on the Earth. Till date, we were able to send 2 spacecraft to study about the things that are happening there, but we were unable to learn a lot about the Mercury. Yeah. Coming to the Venus, the second planet in the solar system, the Venus is the, as we have already discussed during our first class, it is the second planet from the center, and it is also the hottest planet, more hotter than the one we have discussed about. It is more hotter than the Mercury, and it is also bright in color because of the presence of red soil on it. Because of the presence of red soil on it, it is hot, and it is also called as the sister planet for the Earth. What is the reason why it is called as a sister planet for the Earth? Means because of few features which are similar to that of Earth. There are few features of the Venus which make it similar to that Earth, and because of that features, it is called as the sister planet of Earth. Let us see what are those features which makes it the sister planet for the Earth. And the one thing to be remembered is that just like we haven't discussed about any moons that are there for the Mercury. So Mercury has no moons. Just like that, even Venus also doesn't have any moons or natural satellites. Yeah, and 1 day on Venus will be equal to 117 Earth days. 1 day on Venus will be equal to 117 Earth days. Yeah, this point is very important. This makes it something different from the other planets. Venus takes, unlike the other planets, Venus moves from east to west. The rest of the planets, all the other planets move from west to east, but this planet moves from east to west. Yes. Like the Earth, Venus also has crust, mantle and core. This is what I was stressing on. This is what I was about to say. There are some similarities between the Earth and the Venus, and this is one such similarity, that is the crust, mantle and core. Just like how they are present on the Earth, just like how they are present inside the Earth, they are also present in the Venus. Yeah. It is known as morning star. It is known as morning star and evening star. Why? What is the reason why it is called as morning star and evening star? Means once after the sun is gone in the evening, once when it is turning out to be dark, this is the first body that we will be able to see in the sky. This is the first thing that we will be able to see in the sky. And in the morning, this is also the last thing that disappears. Once after all the stars are disappeared, once after the moon is gone, this is the last one to disappear. So that is the reason why it is called as the morning star and evening star, as it can be seen for a longer time compared to the other planets and stars. Yes, the next planet in the solar system, the third one, the very planet which we are all very familiar with, the Earth. The life is possible on it because of its precise placement from the sun, accurate placement from the sun, which makes very accurate temperature available for the living organisms to survive. And there is also atmosphere here. Because of these two things mainly, along with water, the life is possible on the Earth. Yes. It is believed that the Earth was formed around 45 billion years ago. There is a separate theory which states about the formation of the planet, the sun and all those things. But here it takes around, it has taken around 45 billion years to complete for the formation of the Earth. Yeah, its ideal distance from the sun, as I have already told you, it is so precisely placed, and because of that only the life is possible on the Earth. Yeah, and along with that, as we have discussed, the presence of atmosphere also makes the life possible on the Earth. Yes. What are the main constituents of the air? What are the main constituents of the air? We all know this. What are the main constituents of the air means? Nitrogen constitutes about 78% of the total atmosphere, and 20% of the air consists of oxygen. About 0.03% of the total atmosphere consists of carbon dioxide, and the remaining 0.97, around 0.97 consists of water vapor and other gases. Yes, and we all know this. Moon is the only natural satellite that is present, that is revolving around the Earth. Yeah, and it takes about 24 hours to complete one rotation, and 65.25 days to complete one revolution. To complete one revolution, it takes 365.25 days to complete one revolution. Yeah, let's move on to the next planet, that is the Mars. The Mars is the next planet which is present just after the Earth, our neighboring planet is. Yeah, and it is red in color. It appears to be red in color because of the presence of red soil on it. It appears to be red in color, and it is the second smallest planet. If you have remembered, Mercury is the first. Mercury is the smallest planet, and after that, the next smallest is the Mars. Yes, and the tallest mountain. This is very important point to be remembered about Mars. The tallest mountain in the solar system, its name is Olympus, is present in the Mars. It is present on the Mars. Yes, the atmosphere of the Mars is very thin. Okay, Okay, thank God there is some atmosphere. Atmosphere is present, but it is very thinly present, and the temperature is also very low here. We are moving away from the sun, so as usual, definitely the temperature decreases, and here the temperature is very low. Yes, the traces of liquid water have been found on the Mars. Okay, so this is some hope to the human mankind. Atmosphere is present, temperature is not so hot, and traces of water also are found. So some sort of hope where we can move on to, right from the Earth. If we want to move to some other planet which is not polluted, this will be our first option. Yeah, several spacecrafts have been sent to this planet. Why? Because this is the only hope that we have, and this is also the nearest one. And till date, we are studying. Right now, we are studying about the atmosphere, the availability of water, its gravitational force, the various aspects of the Mars. We are studying by sending various satellites onto the Mars. Yeah, one among such satellites which were sent onto the Mars, the famous, the prestigious Mangalyaan is one. We have sent onto the Mars. Yes. Oh yeah. Unlike the Earth, this Mars has got two moons, two natural satellites it has got. After that, we'll come to our big brother, the Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet, as I have already told you. It can accommodate 1300 Earths. It is the largest planet in the solar system. As I have told you, 1300 planets 1300 Earths can fit into it, and it is called a gas giant. Gas giant it is called. Why is it called a gas giant? Because it is mainly made up of gases. It is not made up of any solid or liquid. They are there, but comparatively they are very less. Gases are present in more number, in more quantity. That's why it is called as a gas giant. Yeah, so when we are looking at the sky, we will be able to see 5 planets. Okay, 5 planets only are visible to that. Among those 5 planets, this is one of the planets. Jupiter is one of the planets through which we can see right from the Earth with our naked eye. It experiences shorter day. If you have remembered while we were discussing about the rotation and revolution time, it has got a very less rotation time, around 9 hours, 35 minutes or something like that. I'm sorry, 9 hours 55 minutes. So shortest day of 9 hours of 55 minutes can be seen on the Jupiter. Yeah. And one more important point, every planet has got one important characteristic. One important characteristic of this Jupiter is that a red colored spot can be seen. A red colored spot can be seen on the surface, okay, which is formed because of an explosion which has taken place long back. And I want to tell you an important thing about the Jupiter. In the year 1992, an asteroid came and struck the Jupiter. Its name is Shoemaker Levy 9. Shoemaker Levy 9 has struck the Earth. The Jupiter, and because of that, some deformation, a little deformation has taken place on the Jupiter, but it doesn't matter much as there is no life on the Jupiter. Yes, it has 79 moons. Okay, this is completely a different thing till now what we have seen. There are no moons for the Mercury and Venus. Earth has got one moon, and we have discussed about the Mars. It has got 2 moons, but unlike everyone, our big brother, the Jupiter, has got 79 moons which are continuously revolving around it. Yeah, its mass is 318 times that of Earth. It is 318 times bigger than that of the Earth. It is 318 times bigger than that of the Earth. But I don't know whether you have remembered, 1300 Earths can fit into this. 1300 Earths can fit into this. But its mass is only 380 times bigger than that. By this we can say that its density is far less. Its density is very less than compared to the Earth. And automatically it will be less because it is made up of gases. It is composed mainly of gases, and it is also known as a gas giant. Let's move on to the other planet. Yes, Saturn, the ring brother. We can call him as ring brother. He has a ring around himself because of a lot of dust, many particles revolving around it. It is the second largest planet. It is the second largest planet after our big brother Jupiter, and it is also a cool planet and can be seen from the Earth just like the Jupiter. With the naked eye, it can be seen from the Earth. The Saturn can be seen. Yes, it is yellowish in color. It is yellowish in color and can be seen clearly with the help of a telescope. With the naked eye, we can see it, but if you want to look at it more clearly, we need to use a telescope. By using a telescope, you can have a look at its ring also, the one you are able to see clearly here. Yes, just like Jupiter, it is also a gas giant. It is also mainly formed of gases, especially of hydrogen. Hydrogen is very abundantly present here, and just like our big brother, as he has got 79 moons, the Jupiter, the Saturn has got 60 moons. Yes, and among those 16 moons, if we want to discuss about all the moons, it is not possible. But there are two moons called as Titan and Rhea, which are the largest ones among all those. So their names have become famous, and because that they are here. Yes, its rings are made up of many particles. Some particles are so small like rice grains, and some particles which are revolving around it are so huge like mountains. They range in many sizes, right from a food grain to a huge mountain they range from, and its density is very less than that of water. And if you put it on water, it's not possible, but if you put it on water, it floats on the water because of its low density. Yes, the next planet, the Uranus. Uranus, it is also known as ice giant of the solar system, because there is no source of water, but a lot of ice. It is completely made up of ice. It is completely made up of ice. You might be knowing the reason, as we have discussed it a number of times. We are moving away from the sun, the temperature decreases, so automatically it may turn into ice. And it was discovered. Okay, it was discovered by a person called as William Herschel in the year 1781. He was the first person to see it very clearly. Other people might have seen, but not as clear, and they have not said that this is the Uranus. Okay, with confidence, he was the first person to say that this is the Uranus. And if you have remembered, I told you that Venus is the planet which rotates in a different direction. Unlike the other planet, it rotates from east to west. Okay, so just like the Venus, Uranus is also one of the planets which rotates from east to west. All the other planets that rotate from west to east. These are the only two planets. So they sort of having some difference. And the temperature on the Uranus is -224. This is the least temperature that was recorded on the Uranus. Yes, it is made up of mainly, it consists of water, ammonia and methane ice crystals. These are mainly present on the Uranus. So don't think about any life on Uranus. There is no chance. Okay, it is pale blue in color. As you can see in the picture here, it is pale blue in color. Yes, it has got 27 moons. Thank God, because of its small size. It's not like Uranus and Saturn and Jupiter. It has got only 27 moons. Let's move to the last brother in the solar system. Very beautiful looking blue brother. That is the Neptune. Okay, this is the last planet of the solar system, and it is also the coldest planet in the solar system. It is so cold. So cold. It is the coldest planet. So we need to remember the smallest, the second smallest, the largest, the second largest, the coldest, the hottest. All these planets we have to remember, and we will be remembering these things, I hope, because we have discussed very clearly along with their distances and all those aspects. It just takes 18 hours to complete one rotation. For a completion of one rotation, it takes just 18 hours. Yeah, it can only be seen with the help of a powerful telescope. We cannot even see with a normal telescope, and forget about watching it with a naked eye. It's not possible. If you want to have a look at this, we should be using a very powerful telescope. Yeah, the atmosphere of Neptune is made of hydrogen, helium, and methane. These are the main things, main gases that are present. Atmosphere is present, but it is made up of hydrogen, helium, and methane. Yeah, it takes about 4 hours for the light to reach Neptune from the sun. If any light ray has traveled from the sun to the Neptune, to reach to the Neptune, it takes 4 hours to reach. Do you remember? Do you know how much time it takes to reach the Earth? It just takes 8 minutes, but to reach the Neptune, it takes 4 hours. We know light is the fastest thing that can travel. Even being the fastest one, it takes 4 hours to reach Neptune, and you can imagine how far it is from the sun. It has got 14 moons. It has got 14 moons. You can make a table. Planet, its moons, its a special feature, what it is made up of, and it has got any characters like the biggest, largest planet, the smallest planet, hottest planet, coolest planet. Like this, you can make a special feature or something like that. You can make a number for, you can make 4 or 5 columns and write their characteristics if you want to remember it. If you are looking forward to write in a quickly, if you want to revise it before the exam, it will be very useful to you. Yeah, this is about all the 8 planets that are there around in the solar system, that are revolving around the Earth. Hope you are very clear with this. If you are still having any doubt, if you think that I should be throwing some more light on any of this topic, you can just write it in the comment section, so that once if I see, I'll be able to get back to you at the earliest possible. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe.